Hello and welcome back, super nerd friends. It is Saturday. I finally got around to watching most of your videos. Becky, I didn't catch yours yesterday, unfortunately, but I'm still mostly caught up. Something you said in one of your videos, Becky, that caught my attention was about the vitamin D problems. It reminded me of a conversation I had with Alexis, where I don't remember what exactly it was about, but I remember she was definitely on the pro going outside in the sunlight, and I was very against it, and she said something about, but Hailey, the vitamin D, and I said, no, it's okay, they have pills for that now, and much laughter was had. But, I've been reading a book by the same gentlewoman who wrote the space exploration book I was telling Alexis about. It had a quote by, Watson or Crick, I'm not sure which one, I want to say Watson, about the nature of the soul in kind of a scientific, way, and it got me thinking about, who we are and, like, what defines that, I guess, and Becky sort of got me thinking about that again. And, I mean, it's not really provable, because everything that makes us, our dreams and our memories, our personalities, and our decisions, they're all governed by our brains and our bodies to a lesser extent. Like, we remember the barrage of really interesting information when Alexis was taking her drug class, and it just got me thinking, there's so many chemicals and synapses and things that have to be happening just for the brain to function. It's a wonder we work at all sometimes. But there was that guy, I forget his name, but Alexis would probably know, who was in the industrial accident, and he had a metal rod shoved through his head, and he got better. But after that, he was a completely different person than before the accident. Like, I think he was more aggressive and violent before, and just, a different person, because there had been that part of his brain that was irreparably damaged. And I was talking to my grandmother about it. She suggested that maybe it was just the shock of finding oneself with a metal rod through one's eye that suddenly made this man start beating his wife and swearing for the rest of his life. Like, I think he did. You'll have to check my facts. It's been a while since I have read up on that story. But, Becky, you were annoyed that such a small thing like a vitamin deficiency could lead to a personality change. And I'm pretty sure this isn't what you meant, or maybe it was. It's been a few hours since I've watched that video. But certainly not for someone to go off on this much of a tangent, I'm sure. But, I don't really have anything else to talk about, so I'm going to. But is it possible for there actually to be a basic you, I guess, a soul maybe, but even more basic than that, less wishy-washy spiritual nonsense and human, egocentricness kind of way, but underneath it all, maybe just a basic you, something that's the middle ground, the thing that all the other things come back to underneath all the other stuff, if that makes any sense at all. But just, if there's something kind of constant from birth to death underneath the mental disorders and genetic changes and theoretic changes in nurturing and diseases and nutrition and chemical imbalances and impromptu industrial lobotomies and things like that. Like they say, babies, when they come out, they have a distinctive personality. So maybe there's something there from the beginning, but the thing is there's no way to test it, right? Because even using identical twins and the most diabolically unethical testing practices you can possibly imagine, and you'd still be left with the barest hint of a theory, because there's no control group, there's no control you, there's only one of you, and there's no real way to test it. Because, what is it, what is it that makes you, you? How do you define Becky? What is the home base? Like, is it your actions? Is it how you look, how you act, your desires? Is it your personality? Whatever your personality is most of the time? Or people who are, undernourished or undereducated or kept in a box until they're 14, or under the influence of drugs or something, or under powerful emotions? Are they not their true selves? Because, drugs alter you, so that's obviously probably not your true self, but, chemicals occurring naturally in the body change you all the time. So if one of those chemicals is doing its job too well or not well enough, for your entire life, how would you know that? Does that change who you are, or is that who you are, and the drugs that you take to correct the imbalance to whatever everybody else is that the real you? Is the basic sense of self actually the weird soupy thing called the soul, or is that just like a weird sense of right and good and wrongness, and if that's the case, then I had an interesting idea that, you know, if it is a sense of rightness and wrongness, then maybe people do have souls, but they don't get it until they're like around 20 when the sense of empathy really develops. I don't know, just an idea. But, you know, there would have to be a whole set of genetic factors at work if it is something that's with you from birth to death. But, you know, surely genetics, more than anything, is a factor in the you-ness, I suppose. But then again, nurturing is not to be scoffed at all, either. So you can take the same person and make a caveman or a star quarterback out of them, depending on how you raise them and what you do with the basic materials that you're given. So, is one less the true person than the other? And, you know, they're interesting questions, but it doesn't really mean anything besides just philosophy, I guess, because it's, there's no way to test it. Again, I don't know, maybe the point is the brain is a delicate and fascinating thing, despite how powerful it is. You know, it is fragile, and there's a lot of moving parts, and maybe, you know, maybe that's the point. It's difficult to say whether there is a fundamental sense of you, whether you can change by, or, you know, whether it's possible for there to be a fundamental sense of you if what is you can be changed so easily just by, you know, having a metal rod shoved through your brain. Or maybe that's the point, that, you know, it's too bad that you're not getting enough vitamin D, but at least you don't have a metal rod through your head. I think maybe that's the point we need to come away with from this, is, you know, that you're actually relatively healthy and doing pretty good. And I probably shouldn't have laughed, but I did laugh a little bit that, that your mother was saying that you were grumpy due to the lack of vitamin D, and the lack of vitamin D was making you grumpy because the lack of vitamin D was making you grumpy. And sorry, I did laugh just a tiny bit, but hope you're feeling better, and I don't know, going out and getting sunshine or taking pills or something. And anyway, just, you know, hope you two are well. I haven't been doing much, which is why I've been blathering on about synapses and stuff. But yeah, so not much to do or say. I got up like 10 minutes late for the new Korra episode and watched that, and I still need to go back and watch last week's episode, because, I don't know, it opened up in the middle of a really exciting car chase, so, you know, that was cool, but I think I've missed something. Other than that, you know, hope you two are well, enjoy the weekend, and see you two next week. Bye!